to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Can you smell what the Gold Key Adventurers are cooking? This week, we're boarding a steamer to head deep into the wild rivers of the world for a very special jungle cruise spectacular. Watch out for the rhinos and don't wake the sleeping zebra. It's time to hit the trail with the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. My name is Dan Leonard, and joining me this week in the studio is Heather Strait.
Hola.
Jeff Williams.
Hey there.
And Mr. Zach Bassler.
Howdy, partner.
Our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Guys, big news. This is episode 99. Do you know what that means?
Tonight we're going to party like it's episode 99?
Yes.
I sure hope so. But more importantly, next week is our 100th episode. Jeff and Heather will be back. Oh, well, Jeff and Heather are back already. This was written before you weren't in the studio.
We will be back then.
We will.
We'll be back in the studio for a massive theme park roundup. Spoilers, we'll definitely have things to say about Disneyland's AP reboot, the Magic Key, as well as big Star Wars announcements to unpack. Since it's also our second anniversary-ish, we've got a wish list of ways you can help us to celebrate. First, we are so close to hitting another major milestone that we can taste it. We're about 1,000 downloads shy of a grand total of 20,000 listens, and we're anxious to make it up over that final hill to the big 2000. We'd really appreciate it if you could send a friend or two our way at www.goldkeyadventures.com or give us a shout out on Facebook or Twitter and help.
Isn't it 200,000 listens?
No, it's 20,000.
Oh, you had 200,000 in the notes.
Sorry.
When I read that, I was super impressed.
Me too.
We're not quite that impressive yet. No.
200,000. Sorry. Carry on.
I couldn't believe anyone would listen to this show.
Hey, 20,000.
I've been working really hard, y'all.
20,000 is impressive
It is
enough.
very good.
That puts us somewhere in like the top 5% of downloads in the world.
Wow.
5% of podcasts, but most podcasts don't make it past like 3 episodes.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
The vast majority. Anyway, or give us a shout out on Facebook or Twitter and help us have our first ever 1,000 download week. While you're at it, we sure would like to hear from you about just what it is that keeps you coming back to adventure with us week after week. The best way to do that and help others realize how much fun we are is by dropping us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you listen to our show on. Guys, hopefully I've rambled long enough to give you time to think of a clever answer, so I was wondering, as we get closer to our 100th episode and second anniversary, what are your hopes, dreams, and predictions for our next 100 episodes? Ridiculous answers only, please.
Gardening talk.
We're going to turn it into gardening talk?
Yep, it's just gardening.
Wow.
It's time to change direction here.
Yeah.
Can we have some celebrity guest hosts like Chris Evans?
Oh.
It's a good wish.
We're just stuck with Jess Evans.
That's if you order Chris Evans from Wish, you get Jess.
Oh,
Ouch.
you can say that because he's not here.
That's right. He's not here to defend himself.
I think in our next 100 episodes, Richard Branson is going to become a regular listener and send me into space.
Well, he may not after he hears Dan railing
Pretty
on
sure
the
that's gonna happen.
Billionaire Assholes Club
That's
going to
hey,
space.
we said that he was the one who seemed like the cool guy and not like those other two dicks.
Yeah,
That's true.
that is true.
Out of the 3, he's, well,
He doesn't seem like the worst human in the world.
No.
Who's the third one?
Bezos and
Elon Musk and Jeff
Oh,
Bezos.
yeah. How could I forget?
out of the 3 Bond villains, he's like one of the kind of lovable,
he's the
non-threatening
coolest.
Roger
He's the
Moore
one.
era ones.
He's the one that you thought was Bond's like faithful friend that turns his back on him later. He's
Right.
charming and cool till
Yes.
you realize he's not.
He's the Yzma of Disney villains.
Yeah.
I like
You've got a similar facial structure.
all the leather crunk.
Wrong lever.
Well, stick around because after the commercial break, we're taking a cruise through the heart of the jungle on the punniest expedition that ever sailed, the Jungle Cruise.
When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World travel vacation planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Alani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation.
At the risk of sounding like this episode is timed to cynically cash in on the recent release of a major motion picture based on a beloved attraction at Disney theme parks around the world, this week seems like the perfect time to talk about the Jungle Cruise and all its many incarnations. First off,
There is a movie out right now about the Jungle Cruise.
weird.
Fortuitous. You didn't even know that.
That's what we call serendipity.
Yes.
It's even funnier. I was looking at my Facebook memories today,
It's
and
funny, Zach.
it's very funny. It's hilarious. 2018, so I guess that's 3 years ago. That's when The Rock posted that video of him on set
Oh, yeah.
announcing the movie.
Yeah, it was like a zoom out of him
Yeah.
on a big, huge set.
It only
That's
sat in the
crazy. That was
can
that
for a
long ago.
year,
And
right? It was supposed to come out last summer. Is that?
yeah,
I
Yeah,
imagine
it was supposed to come out in the spring, like May of
yeah.
2020.
But it was even planned. And who did I just see? Oh, I mean, well, we're going to talk about the movie in a second anyway, so I might as well talk about the movie. I saw a story
What movie?
that the Jungle Cruise movie,
Oh,
it's been in production so long. Do you know who the original pick for the leads in this movie were?
No.
Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah. They originally wanted Buzz and Woody to be to lead up this movie.
What?
Was it really?
Seriously? He wasn't kidding?
No, he wasn't kidding.
What?
Yeah.
but not
Okay.
as Buzz and Woody.
Okay, no.
No, as other characters, but
No.
that's
I thought
they
it was
wanted
in
them to
production so long it was going to be like Charles Grodin and
No, it was-
I just watched it last night, and I thought it was a ton of fun. It was probably the best of the movies based on an attraction that I have seen.
Hold Up. Even better than The Haunted Mansion starring TV's Eddie Murphy.
That is correct. I am a fan of that Dwayne Johnson, and I
I love
really
that
like
DJ.
Emily Blunt too. And I thought it was like the ride, a little ridiculous, a little funny, a little cheesy.
Little silly, little cheesy.
Yeah, all of the things.
I want to
And-
see it. My family is not interested, so I'm not going to
Well-
pay $30 to see it alone. So
your family sucks.
Yeah,
they do.
totally.
That's unfortunate.
But
haven't seen
I
it
won't
yet
give any
either.
spoilers since I know y'all haven't seen it yet. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth a watch.
I heard
And
it was exactly the plot as The Mummy.
And also Pirates of the Caribbean, the first.
Yes.
There are some elements of both. Yes,
And of course,
Yeah.
the African Queen,
and the
which
African
the ride
Queen.
is based on.
Right.
Well, but I think it's kind of like just that it's that type of movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it looks fun and silly, like
Yes.
movies I liked in the 80s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like Romancing the Stone, that kind of thing, like a
Definitely.
romp, a bit of
Yes.
a silly
Yeah,
romp.
never meant to be taken too seriously.
Yes. And
Right.
like Indiana Jones, the original one of those was not a serious film. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. And they do the punny jokes delivered by The Rock, which is great. He does a good
He's
job.
known for his comedic.
Was
Yes.
is Schweitzer Falls named after Dr. Albert Falls? Is that mentioned?
Yes, it is.
Great. That's
It
all I
is.
need.
Alert.
It is.
That's
From
how
what
it
I
was named
understand,
after.
from what I understand, the movie is essentially just a ride through. Every joke-
a little.
Every joke that you hope to hear from the Jungle Cruise is in the movie.
That's my favorite one.
Yes.
That gets me every
Me
time.
too. That is mine.
I mean, the trailer includes the backside of water
Yes.
reveal.
He does.
Oh, I
he
haven't
does
watched
do
any of the
that.
trailers for it.
And he does another one of my favorite jokes, which is we're headed into headhunter territory, and that's a terrible place to be headed.
Yeah,
Get it?
That's a good one.
Oh, I like puns.
Yes.
I
do
wish I
too.
could be a Jungle Cruise skipper. I think I could do it.
Oh, I know. As the material is mostly there, you just get to do it in your own spin. But I've had some really bad ones.
And you get spiel pay. Spiel pay?
Spielberg,
Spiel
Spiel?
pay.
Spiel pay?
Spielberg.
Spiel pay.
What's spiel pay?
It's an added bonus per hour you get when you have to work an attraction that has an extensive spiel like that.
Oh, I like
It's,
it.
it's to make up for them not paying you actor rates. Technically, you should be getting a scale on that, but they're not giving it to you. So.
Aha. I got it.
So like the people in the old movie ride and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that
Yep.
makes sense.
Well.
Huh.
Well, it didn't start off as a spiel roll, though, did it?
Mm-mm.
Well, not nearly at least not as funny as it is now.
It wasn't
We talked
funny
about that a
at
little bit a couple
all.
of weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
watch the behind the
Yes.
I did.
whatever attraction
Behind the
on that? It was
attraction.
dull, and I guess everybody realized it was dull pretty quick.
Yeah, because Walt's
Look, kids,
vision for
there
it
is a
was
lion.
yeah, it was to be a realistic ride through the jungle, and it was
Yeah, it
supposed
was like-
to be
Like a live
educational.
version of his
Yeah.
jungle or his nature films. which
true
were
life
pretty dry.
adventures. Yes.
There's actually you can find it on Spotify a Jungle Cruise album that Disneyland Records put out way back in the late 50s that includes, if not the exact spiel from the ride, very close to what
The
Uh,
original
the
dry
original
reading.
spiel. Yeah, and it's
Oh, I got to check that out.
a tough listen.
I've heard
It's rough.
there's a myth or a legend, however you want to put it, that Walt overheard a
Oh,
child
really?
asking their mother to go on the Jungle Cruise, and she said, "Ugh, we've already done it once. Why would we do it
Mhm.
again?" And that was when he handed it over to Mark Davis to plus and make into something better.
Yeah, which he originally just started off by adding the elephants, and those were such a big hit.
Yes.
But one interesting thing that I didn't really realize until I was listening to another podcast is opening day, and for like the first year, that was the big headline attraction.
Jungle
was the
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. That
Really?
was, that was what everybody was coming to see.
Huh.
It was just such a spectacle.
And
we
this
talked
was
a little
even
bit-
before the the audio animatronics really became something they
Mhm.
were great at.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that day back then, like the circus used to be huge and things like that because there weren't nearly the zoos that we have now or the
true.
media where people could see these animals. So it felt exotic and special to go see this stuff that you really couldn't see anywhere
That's
else.
true. Funny how you think about I've seen an elephant, seen
Yeah,
a baby
right.
elephant. I've
But
seen
only
a
used to be
jaguar.
huge cities had zoos, and nobody. That's why circuses were a thing. They would bring the animals and stuff to places that hadn't seen those things.
Plus conjoined twins and short people need
Yes,
jobs.
yes,
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah,
People just weren't, it wasn't a thing to go on a family vacation that was an African safari, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
something
It's so
people can do
exotic.
now. It's very exotic.
Well, we talked about the history some when we talked about the Adventureland as a whole, but I had a couple of facts that I recently learned about the early Jungle Cruise that I thought were pretty cool, or one of them was kind of funny that I wanted to share with you. And first of all, I mentioned to Heather before we started, there's something funny about the orchids. There's a big tree.
I've been waiting for you to tell me that.
There's a big, beautiful tree full of orchids, and we've all heard about
in both versions.
I believe in both American versions. It might just be at Disneyland. I honestly can't remember if there's an orchid tree at Walt Disney World. But we've all heard the stories about how early on in the parks they would go through and they're repainting everything every night and really hardcore on that maintenance. Well, they decided that since they had planted all of this lush jungle all around the ride, that an artificial tree would not look good. So they wanted this orchid tree, but they didn't want to do fake orchids. So they hung all these tiny little glass vials from the branches of this tree, and they put fresh cut orchids lining the branches of this tree. And every night, cast members were out there on the river on a barge, on
putting
ladders,
new orchids in?
replacing the wilted orchids with fresh ones.
That's expensive.
That's
Yeah, and that's
expensive,
why-
and what a pain.
It lasted 6 months, and then Walt realized how much money he was wasting on fresh cut orchids and said,
Yeah.
"Put some
These
fake
orchids
ones
are
on
cutting
there."
That's
into my
some fake
medical
ones.
cigarettes
Well,
budget.
and start planting real ones. I was reading a little bit about. I was fascinated in the behind the attraction thing about the part about the landscaping and how Bill Evans was going around begging for trees,
buying everybody's trees and bushes.
There's a one tree that's kind of famous that they had interviewed the guy whose mother sold that tree to Bill Evans, but I also read that on opening day it wasn't so very lush yet. You kind of had to squint and pretend you were in the jungle.
I noticed that. I was looking at some pictures from opening day and around that time period, and I was looking at them, and I was seeing the Jungle Cruise and what we know now. It doesn't look very jungly.
No.
Yeah, well, it's hard you can't make that kind of deep growth very quickly.
Well, and fun fact, I found this article from the 2010 in the OC Register. The whole article is about how the jungle in the Jungle Cruise is now a legit jungle. It really is. It has grown so lush, and it's now made up. It has a canopy that qualifies because it's got a canopy that goes up to 100 feet high in some places, and it is so.
Only took 65 years.
Yeah, it's so dense and lush that it keeps all the heat of the day in, and so those plants, they don't have to do a lot to keep the orchids and some of the more delicate plants safe at night because the canopy is keeping all the heat in, which is kind of cool. Even that doesn't get super cold in Anaheim, but when
Nature
it does,
finds a way.
yes,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat. It's a
That's very
legit
cool.
jungle now.
Maybe it'll get so big it becomes a rainforest.
Yeah, maybe soon it'll have real animals like Walt wanted.
Well, in the first few months, about the same amount of time that they had the orchids, there were a handful of real animals on the Jungle Cruise ride. Yeah. Near the entrance on the docks, they had a little pool full of some baby alligators.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Problem is that those crazy jungle skippers like playing pranks with the baby alligators a little too much, and they started showing up in the office buildings, in the secretary's desks, or in break rooms.
that's amazing.
Or in glory holes.
Yeah, there was also plans to put somebody gifted them a mynah bird that they were trying to teach a spiel to attract people into the ride. So they put it in an office, like the area manager's office, and would play a record for it all night long with what it was supposed to learn to say. The problem is that those pesky skippers again would sneak in and teach it all kinds of swear
I was
words.
just going to say, please tell me that it just swore.
Yeah, so he got banished from
that's
the
awesome.
attraction and sent apparently to the model shop at Walt Disney Imagineering. He would hang out there.
That's my concept for a tiki bar. I want to get all the parrots that people have abandoned because they're too sweary. And it's just going to be a tiki bar full of sweary birds.
The swearing parrot.
I would frequent that place.
That's a great name.
Right?
I like it.
So what did
But
you
I
say,
digress.
Zach? Would you say the name?
The swearing parrot.
I love it. Yeah.
Does that not sound like a tiki bar?
Oh,
It
yeah.
does.
It's better than the Dirty Birdie.
I like that one too.
That would be the signature drink. That's the signature drink.
The Dirty Birdie.
And the mug is covered with hand-painted bird droppings.
Or real.
You guys, let's get some venture. Venture capital. I think we've got ourselves a business plan.
You mentioned earlier the people saying, "Well, we've already seen done the Jungle Cruise. Why would we go again?" I hate this is probably unpopular opinion, but I feel that way with the safari ride. It's the same.
Yeah.
Every time.
Unless you get an animal doing something
There's a sleeping
interesting.
animal. There's another sleeping animal. There's a sleeping animal. That lion's standing up. Look, guys, it's a big deal. The lion's standing up. It's just not entertaining to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if they put some cornball jokes, and I actually liked when they used to have the poacher storyline, it's something to jazz it up a little bit.
At least there was some guaranteed excitement that you would see every time instead of hoping. Yeah. And apparently, just like the skippers themselves get just as much credit for the new comedic tone of the ride as Mark Davis does. He came up with some visuals that he added. The two main things that he added were the bathing elephants and the Lost expedition on the pole with the rhinos. And the skippers kind of started doing the crazy funny stuff on the ride on their own. But the thing that I thought I was blown away by is they were allowed to pick their own costumes, not from the costuming department. They could bring stuff from home as long as it fit in the general theme of adventuring. And we're talking from opening in the 50s. So from the very beginning, these guys were creating these weird, wacky personas for themselves. There was a couple of them that would dress up in like explorers, safari khakis, but then
guy was wearing like caballero hats and stuff.
Yeah, and like one of them had like the khakis, but then he had on a black beret and like a goatee, like pointy beatnik goatee and sandals, and he played his character like a beatnik at a jazz club. There's another dude who took advantage of it, grew his hair out past his shoulders, grew a big bushy beard, and he brought his pet chameleon who would ride on his shoulder, chained to a necklace around his neck, and everybody else has to be super clean cut and white at Disneyland. And these guys were able to just do what they wanted to do.
That sounds so fun. So,
yeah. They have to be clean cut and white?
At Disneyland in the 1950s.
Oh, 50s, yeah.
That's probably true.
Anyway. Does anybody else have any fun facts about the Jungle Cruise while we're at this section of the show outline?
No.
No?
Well, I just loved the whole building of it thing, how they were driving a car through there trying to figure out, like it was all just hand drawn through. They didn't use CAD or anything. It was just crazy. They just went in there and drew out a path and drove a car around in there.
Literally with a stick.
Make it more around here. So funny.
Yeah, they added like outriggers to the car to make it the dimensions of the boat to figure out if it would fit the turns.
And was it Jungle Cruise that when they were excavating the route, Bill Evans had gone through and marked out the trees that he wanted to keep with a green flag,
that's why he had to go buy them all.
Yeah, the ones he didn't want with a red flag, and the bulldozer driver was colorblind, and so he just dozed everything. Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
What happened to all the trees?
Yeah, should have been one flag keep, two flags don't keep. Or something.
Yes,
I guess.
Or just put a flag on the ones you want bulldozed and nothing on the others.
Yes.
Right.
That was a classic overthinking it.
Oh, there was one more. Zach, do you know the story of the broken alligators? Walt and the broken alligators?
I do not.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Well, I've got one more fact, and then we can move on from fun facts from history. So they had a lot of problem with any of the the animals that were in the water because the mixture of the water plus the sand would break down the machinery really quickly, and the alligators would never work, or they were frequently broke down, and that really made Walt angry. So whenever he would get on the ride, they would send a couple of guys out to the island near where they were to operate them by hand until his boat went past. And they'd hide in the bushes and operate him while he was driving back. Apparently he caught on and he was not very happy, and he told them to fix those.
Yeah, I think that there was an old giraffe head or something that stuck up over the top. Same thing. They had a guy that was just out there working a crank for a while.
Yeah, it took them months to get them working right.
Just some guy with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth turning a crank.
Well, it's crazy when you look at those giraffes, especially when they showed that in the behind the attraction, and it's just the neck, and then
it's a neck.
There's a counterweight sticking out behind it.
You just turn it, and the neck goes right.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy to think like people were working? Like, Walt is here. Like that's nuts.
Yes.
There's no like equivalent of that. Like, yeah, Iger could walk by and that would be crazy, but not just Walt.
Yeah.
Being on deck has got to be some pressure.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of buttholes clamping down when he gets on your boat. So did you guys have a chance to watch the videos of the different versions of the ride from around the world?
Oh,
I did, yes.
No, I didn't.
No.
I actually had the chance.
I did. I liked, but Tokyo seems really similar to the American ones.
Yeah.
It is, except for a couple of things, and especially at night, because it has a really cool lighting and fog effects package.
That is true.
And when you go through it, like when you first start and they go through the tunnel of trees, and there's like fireflies all through the jungle, and that's really beautiful. And then in the temple, there's this really cool projection animation where like
I have seen that all inside the temple.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. When we were going to talk about plussing it and what we wish is that with technology now they could do a whole lot of cool stuff, and they could do varied stuff. So sometimes the temple could be falling apart or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point.
Change the show.
Random.
Yes. I mean, why not? It can't be that time consuming or expensive to program the projection shows, says a complete novice.
No, it isn't. The projection mapping is there. You can change the animation once and make 6 sets of it that alternate.
I could not tell whether they did all the jokes and stuff because it was all in Japanese.
Yeah. I think there was jokes. It's hard to tell since it was in Japanese.
Yes.
The tones seemed a little madcap, so I think that they were telling jokes.
That is true.
Unlike in Hong Kong,
it's no jokes.
Which was that one was in English, and it was not at all funny. It was all, oh, hello, oh, be careful.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah,
there's a hippo.
That was pretty much the whole script.
Yes. There's 2 interesting differences. One was kind of weird to see their temple. You don't go into a temple. It's just ruins outside, and then you don't go inside at all. But then the finale of that ride is really cool. And the storyline's not exactly apparent.
200-foot plunge.
Almost. You're going down and you approach some like rock formations in the middle of the river, and there's like clearly a forked path. And the skipper is trying to go to the left, but then all of a sudden a geyser erupts in the middle of the river right in front of you. And so they have to really quick veer to the right to, the starboard to avoid the geyser.
And then all of a sudden you're
well, it's on the boat. You got to use the proper terminology. And you come across these 2 caves, and one of the cave is supposed to be the fire god, and one's supposed to be the water god. And the fire god all of a sudden lights up with like jets of flame all around you. And it's supposed to look like he's about to shoot a fireball at you. But then the water cave comes to life and shoots water out that's supposed to extinguish the fire god and saves you from certain doom.
But still no funny.
Not funny, but
just cool. That does.
There's cool fire and water effects, so that's the best thing to funny.
Yeah, I like all that. Maybe they don't. Maybe puns and that kind of wordplay doesn't work in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
Like their funny is just someone getting slapped in the face with a fish or something.
I mean, that's funny to me too.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't mean I'm from Hong Kong.
There's 2 different kinds of humor. There's the fun wordplay, and then there's just madcap or whatever. It sounds like they went with neither.
Yeah. One interesting thing, too, that I did notice from that ride is to get to their Swiss Family Treehouse, you take rafts that are exactly like the rafts that you use to get to Tom Sawyer Island at Walt Disney World.
It's kind of in the middle of the Jungle Cruise route.
Yeah, it's like
cool.
They like pass straight across where the Jungle Cruise boats are going. So that's neat. And then they don't have a Jungle Cruise in Shanghai, and they don't have one in Paris.
I would think Shanghai would have the most incredible plussed one if they did, like the pirate ride.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that they decided to do that circular rapids ride. Like, I guess that's kind of the closest thing they have to the Jungle Cruise. They did a rapids ride in like a Cali River Rapids kind of thing.
Oh.
I think, isn't there like a giant dinosaur in that?
Yes. And there's a huge,
You've got to go to those Asian
There's
parks.
a huge like climbing park thing that's right in the middle of it too. And so it's always slippery and a little bit dangerous in the climbing park.
Oh, you have to be careful not to fall and break your face.
Exactly.
If you guys have any, well, I guess Zach already told us what his particularly favorite joke from the Jungle Cruise is about the namesake of Schweitzer Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do super love that one. And of course, the backside of water is classic stuff. But it's the little kind of toss away things like what do they say? I think it's a tiger. Tigers can jump over 25 feet. But don't worry, we're 15 feet away. Jump right over us. And, 90% of the people on the boat just look at him like, what?
Yeah, I also like the joke where they're talking about some bizarre fact about the river that they're on, and they said, and if you don't believe me, you're in denial.
Denial.
And there's another one that I really like. No, I can't remember. I had it in my head.
Like when the elephants are blowing the water towards the boat, and I think a lot of people think that's water blowing out, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my kind of punny joke. I was so pissed because I look like a newbie when Zach and I rode the Jungle Cruise a couple of months ago. That when you stop in that elephant bathing pool and the one elephant pokes his head up and sprays water right before the boat, and then they stop so that the passengers are next to him, and they're like, "Oh, watch out, he's going to do it again." I had my back to the thing, and I totally flinched. And
You fell for it.
Oh, you!
So
What
embarrassing.
are you doing to me?
I just felt like such a noob. It was embarrassing. Not cool.
Oh, there's the one with a zebra. Do you know why it's so hard to eat zebra? You keep getting white meat, dark meat, white meat, dark meat.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one, but I do like when he says, "Oh, that zebra's just sleeping, kids.
Yeah.
Ask your mom and dad."
And just when they pull back in, if you had a great time, I'm Skipper Russell, and if you hated it, I'm Skipper Steve or whatever. Just, which is funny. I used to say that all the time when I would wait tables or whatever.
The one I remember a cast member doing that one, and they said something like, "If you had a great time, my name is Rachel. This on the Jungle Cruise. If you had a really bad time, my name is Alex, and this was the Tower of Terror."
Oh, good. That's funny.
Yeah. Give me an extra layer of confusion.
I have had some of the worst. It's like they were reading from a teleprompter when they say the jokes. They have no idea about the timing of a joke, so it just comes off so stilted and awful. Like these butterflies aren't what they used to be, caterpillars. You gotta pause for comedic effect. They have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they don't know how to work the microphone because it's intentionally already a bad sounding microphone because it's supposed to sound, but some of them need a little help on how a microphone works.
I guess everybody's got to start somewhere, but I love when you get a really good seasoned guy that's really figured out the perfect timing of his jokes and everything.
I've still yet to get that. We were close on this one in May that Zach and I went on, but they were pretty good, but it wasn't one of those like one for the ages skippers that you hear about. And the other thing that I was surprised by on that one, and the last time I rode the Jungle Cruise like 2 years ago, they didn't say a word the entire time we were in the temple. But then you watch videos and sometimes they do in the temple. So is it like they're just getting away with being lazy because nobody can see them inside the temple? Or is it like optional for them to tell jokes when they're in there?
Interesting. I hadn't noticed
I know from what I saw on that special, they have a certain these areas have these 4 jokes available to you or whatever. So I think they're supposed to follow that script. So I don't know. I don't recall any of the jokes from in there. So maybe I haven't been hearing them either.
Yeah. Like maybe it's just optional or something.
Maybe it's supposed to be spooky, so they don't say jokes.
It's just very weird.
Yeah, it's very weird and my least favorite part because, like I said, most of the time they'll just sit down and we just go into a dark tunnel.
In honor of Uncle Walt.
Well, Skipper Reggie's tired. He's going to have him a cigarette.
Let me catch my breath.
Yeah. Time for one of Uncle Walt's pickled cigs.
Oh, available soon from fine retailers.
I'm glad the Jungle Cruise has become more popular. There's suddenly more merch, and even leading up to the movie and before the movie, there's just more Jungle Cruise stuff. So it makes me think it's not going anywhere.
And nerds everywhere dressing up like they're jungle skippers, like in real life, just for fun.
Oh, just at the mall?
Out and about. Yeah, apparently, yeah. I found this group. Found a couple of groups on Facebook that is like
of course
devoted to this Society of Adventurers and Explorers or Explorers and Adventurers rather. Excuse me.
And they're just hanging out at the Williams-Sonoma wearing these.
Well,
Skipper hat on. They got a pistol.
When they go out, they are dressed either as a skipper or every dude has an Indiana Jones outfit that they bust out whenever they go on vacation somewhere, and it's special.
Pith helmets and Kungaloo.
Gross. Why didn't you get a clean one?
Yeah.
Why would you want a pith helmet?
You've got some pith in your helmet.
Do you also have a helmet?
Hey Dan, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's just me or what, but every time
I heard
you talk,
it.
Yeah, I did too.
I totally missed the second part of that joke.
You didn't hear my joke where I said, "Why do you also have a helmet?"
Yeah, it broke up again.
Still didn't get it.
Are you kidding me?
It's like it sounds like a short in your plug or something.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
That's better.
That was good.
Now say a joke.
It looks like there are supposed to be some jokes in the temple. I found an article with a list of all the various jokes they do. And there are
Read
some
them all
jokes.
to me right now, Heather.
There are some jokes about the Cobras. Here are 3 king cobras. Oh, but there used to be 4 of them. I wonder where the other one is. And then they are supposed to start looking around the boat interior. Don't make any sudden moves. Those king cobras are the world's largest poisonous snakes, and they go out for a bite every few minutes.
I think I have heard that one.
And here we have 3 cobras sticking their tongues out at us with no regards for our feelings.
Maybe this is why people don't do them.
I'm wondering if this is why they're not very good.
Oh, good to know.
I think those are the ones that Bob Chapek wrote. That's how he got his job.
Comedic master Bob Paycheck.
Have any of you guys had a chance to see the new updated version in person?
I have not. I've been there since it reopened, but did not partake.
We wrote it just before the shutdown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Dan and I wrote it back in May. We saw some camo tarps.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. Because I think Trader Sam had been covered up when we wrote it.
Yeah, we saw where they had put in when last time Heather and I wrote it, we saw the gift shop was there, but nothing. That was it. It was like Trader Sam's gift shop.
Yeah.
No.
But that was it.
Have you watched any videos of it? Or
No,
are you
tell us what-
spoiler
so
free?
what-
No, I don't want to spoil it for myself.
I never watch ride-throughs until I've seen something.
So they've added some things and they've desensitized some things.
Yeah. They made Trader Sam into a red-headed super pirate.
Trader Sam's out searching for more merchandise for his gift shop, which is now just a collection of stuff that people have lost in the jungle. There's a loose storyline that you're supposed to follow this expedition from the SEA through the jungle. And at one point you see their sunken jungle cruise boat.
I mean, if he wants stuff to sell in his shop, all he needs to do is just walk right outside his attraction and boom, you have 76 gift shops right there in that land alone.
That's right.
That's true.
Including some Ray-Bans. Are they Ray-Bans? No. Sunglass Hut. Oh, yeah, they have Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
Trader Sam's Sunglass Hut.
I like what they have done. I've seen the pictures of the rhino getting this more like diverse group of people that are on the pole climbing up away from the rhino. I think everything it's like the same and fun and familiar, but just a little more inclusive and less victim-y, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't suffer at all from having...
It's the same funny gag. It's just different people on the pole.
And you don't feel a little icky about some of the things that you're supposed to laugh at times. It's fine. And actually, it's I like the idea of having a little bit more of a storyline to it to follow through.
Yeah. I have zero problems with any of the changes they made.
Yeah. Times they do be a changing.
And generally for the better.
Yeah. I didn't have an issue with the redhead in the Pirates either. I don't care.
No. It's still a good ride. So other than those changes, do you have anything else that you'd like to see happen to the Jungle Cruise?
I'd like we started to get into a little bit before. It's apparently the Asian parks have this, but the plussing of some stuff with I think they should be using projection mapping way more because it's so inexpensive to do it. You just create the graphics and then you blast them on everything. It's so good. You could have all different, like the temples falling apart or, stuff like in the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland, how they've got all that different jewels that come alive and lighting effects and all that. It would be so easy with projection mapping.
They could also,
even in the jungle itself at night,
go to the Dollar Tree.
Get some glow-in-the-dark bats.
Exactly.
Yes.
And get some fishing line and just hang them from the ceiling.
That's what they do for Jingle Cruise in Disney World.
And they put little Santa hats on them.
The Jingle Cruise is so plussed. It's so killer. And then at Disney World, it was like, and we wrapped one present and floated it out there. And that was
going to be my wish list, was a better holiday overlay.
Yes. They just have like some tinsel. It took 3 guys and 2 trips to the dollar store to get it done.
Did they bring back the Jingle Cruise last year? I can't remember.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yep.
It's like, because I know Disneyland hasn't had it for a few years, I think.
Yeah, they haven't been doing it at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Theirs was killer. And then they did the first 2 years of ours were awful. And then they didn't do it one year and then it came back. I don't know what's going on.
Then their holiday overlays, they can't have everything. They can't have Small World Holiday, Haunted Mansion Holiday, and the superior Jingle Cruise.
The Jingle Cruise, that's true.
Oh, why?
They have to give us something, is what he's saying.
Keyholes over there, pass holes or whatever they're going to be called now.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.
That's true.
We'll discuss that next week.
Ooh, teaser. Come back for more hard-hitting journalism like that.
Come back for more keyhole news.
Yeah, hard-hitting expose.
I would like to see more of the atmospheric effects like I mentioned in the Asian parks. The fog and the lighting really adds to it, especially at night. And I've never ridden at Walt Disney World at night, so maybe they have that more. I don't know.
I wish they could do like
I don't know if I have ridden it.
I kind of wish they could add like a scarier element for like the Halloween parties or something.
Yes.
Well, I know that watching that Tokyo one at night, it was kind of cool. They have a spotting light, like a hunter, or like you might use
the skipper does.
Shine deer
to point out things on the jungle banks. But on the Tokyo one, when they get to the hippo pool at night and it's so full of fog in that little area and the lighting on it, and when that hippo comes out of the water, it is actually a little bit scary. I was like, oh man, that looks really cool.
Yeah. I don't think they have fog. No. They could just totally fill that thing with fog and make it cool.
Really atmospheric. And then the other thing they have at Tokyo that works for 90% of the ride is they have a soundtrack. They have music piped in.
Yes, and when you go through the African part, it's from The Lion King. Yeah.
When it's in African, it's The Lion King is lame, but there's certain points where the right atmospheric music kind of sync to the ride and really add.
Is it silent at Disney World and Disneyland?
Yeah.
Yeah, other than the skipper.
Now I'll never unnotice that.
Oh, well, and there's also the loud of the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love how the guy's pretending to be steering at all. I like when they really just
they're really whipping
don't
around.
pretend. Yeah. It's so fun.
Well, and that's the other thing that when they mentioned on the behind the attractions thing, when they're like, oh, Walt couldn't fall asleep because of all the jungle noises. I was even trying to think of like, how many animal sounds are there really in there?
41.
Maybe it's just that the boat is so loud that I don't notice the animal sounds.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to pay attention next
Yeah,
time.
you
around.
do. Yeah, you hear birds and caw and all that stuff happening and bzzz, buzzes, bugs and things, but it is pretty close to where his apartment was. Well, it's still there.
It's
He's
right next to it. Isn't there a story that his grandkids used to sneak out of the apartment and onto the Jungle Cruise and like make faces at guests from the bushes?
Wouldn't that be so cool if your granddad or uncle or whatever was Walt Disney? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do to me?
Imagine when it's like parents' career night at school and you got to go on after Walt. Oh.
Yes.
I'm an attorney. Yeah.
I'm Walt Disney.
Yeah. I'm famous for being
papers down
Walt
at
Disney.
the DMV.
My dad works for their daddy.
Yeah, my dad is a sweep up guy down Main Street.
You know those horses?
I always feel bad for that guy that's dressed in the royal wear after the Merida comes riding down the street and he's pushing the shit wagon.
I love that they feel the need to put him in a royal costume.
Yeah. It's like all pomp and circumstance, and then just
he's got a bucket of shit.
He's got a flowered hat with all this gold lame. You ever think your job is bad? Someone is following that horse around with a bucket.
On the other hand, they're still working in the middle of the Magic Kingdom, so
yeah, at least it's 95 degrees while they're
true. Could be worse.
We digress.
I could be working in a place that doesn't get hurricanes.
Did we all say what we would change about plus about the Jungle Cruise ride?
I think so.
I think we all just want kind of more effects and things.
I really want a spooky overlay for the Halloween season. I don't know.
Like dudes coming out of the woods with chainsaws.
Yeah.
Because I know how you love spooky stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I would get on, but
he just wants it to happen.
I just want it to happen. And I really a plus version of the Jingle Cruise. I would love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was super disappointed because we had seen the Disneyland one and then the Disney World one. Lame.
It's like that vest they put on Woody in Toy Story Land at Christmas. They made with the little appliques they bought at the Dollar Tree.
And they put a scarf on him too, Zach. Don't forget about his scarf.
It's the same ones they use on the windows at the Contemporary.
Yes.
What more does he need?
Why don't they I would like a drop too, if they could have the boat do a little, like it feels like there's a waterfall and then you do a drop.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
They do it on Pirates without a lap bar, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Twice at Disneyland.
Or they could do, like work it like a channel and then like it's like a water elevator kind of thing where you go through a channel or something and then the whole water level drops. That'd be fun.
Now that's just too much.
That's just a minor excavation there.
Yeah, all they got to do is create a channel in a water elevator. Come on, guys. They have those.
Right.
They're called locks. They just need one that works rapidly.
Just very fast. A very, very fast lock.
And can fill back up in time for the next car.
It's a faster than gravity system, like the Tower of Terror.
Force gravity, 200-foot plunge on the Jungle Cruise.
It needs more Disney IP.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up!
Oh,
don't give them any ideas. Don't give them any ideas.
Well, the good thing is I bet they'll just add the Rock in there everywhere.
That's
shoehorn him in there like they did Johnny Depp in the Pirates Ride, where he's just peeking around the bush. I'm the Rock.
Yeah. That can be IP.
That's exactly what he's going to say. I'm the Rock.
Yeah, Johnny Depp is so stupid looking in that ride. Everyone else is big, goofy faces and ears and red face and nose, and here's this anatomically correct Johnny Depp, stupid looking.
Although, give between the two, who wouldn't prefer an anatomically correct Rock the Dwayne Johnson?
Rock the Dwayne.
Rock the Dwayne.
Isn't that the concert series at Universal?
Or a version of the Jungle Cruise where there's just a bunch of cats everywhere. But not big cats, domesticated
house
cats.
Domestic cats.
Hundreds and hundreds of house cats.
Just everywhere.
Sounds like,
You need a
sounds like hell.
As you
an
load, they give you a
Aristocats
kitten
ride.
to hold.
Is that what you're lobbying for?
Jungle
like
Cruise now featuring the Aristocats.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. 101 Dalmatian puppies roaming around in there.
Did y'all know there's a Weird Al song that's called Skipper Dan and is
I love that
inspired by the Jungle Cruise?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm going to have to go listen
It's
to
about a failed actor who ends up as a skipper on the Jungle
podcast
Cruise.
host. Oh,
You know, usually it's the other way around because a lot of Jungle Cruise skippers have gone on to lead some pretty successful careers.
That is true.
and some are even overhuggers.
Yeah.
You get fired from those careers.
And no
You
longer
know-
working as the head of a successful animation
One of my
studio.
favorite episodes y'all ever did was, I think it was the first Halloween season, and Jeff did that impersonation of a ghost going, I'm a bit of an overhugger.
Was that the 1,000th ghost in the haunted mansion?
Yes.
The ghost of John Lasseter's
The
career.
ghost of John Lasseter's career. I think that's what it was.
I'm a bit of an overhugger. Wow.
That's so sad.
Well,
We got a little far afield. Well, thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to take a cruise on the world's rivers of adventure and romance, Key to the World Travel has a tropical hideaway full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with the no-obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest updates at www.goldkeyadventures.com. Don't forget that we need some help making our 100th episode a great one, so spread the word, tell people to listen, leave us ratings and reviews, and we'll see you real soon.
bye,
y'all.
everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Jungle Cruise into flows.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.